Anabolic steroids, the foundation. Anabolic steroids are synthetic testosterone. They're the oldest and most effective performance enhancers in track and field. Every record-breaking era in sprinting coincides with steroid use. Ben Johnson, Marion Jones, Justin Gatlin. Testosterone. What it does: increases muscle mass, strength, and recovery. Detection window: 3 to 6 months. Track benefits: explosive power, faster sprint times. Impact: 100-meter times improves 0.1 to 0.3 seconds, difference between gold and not making finals. Trenbolone. What it does: extremely powerful anabolic, zero water retention. Detection window: 5 to 6 months. Track benefits: massive strength without weight gain. Who uses it? Throwers needing explosive power. Stanozolol, Winstrol. What it does: increases strength and speed without weight gain. Detection window: 2 to 3 months. Famous bust: Ben Johnson's 1988 positive test. Why sprinters love it: pure power increase, no bulk. Winstrol is the sprinter's steroid. Ben Johnson ran 9.79 seconds in 1988 on Winstrol, a time that would still place in Olympic finals today. Stimulants, race day weapons. Stimulants don't build muscle. They're race day drugs that increase focus, aggression, and pain tolerance. Amphetamines. What they do: increase focus, reduce fatigue, suppress pain. Detection window: 1 to 3 days. Track benefits: mental sharpness, ability to push through pain. Risk: heart problems, overheating, death in extreme conditions. Amphetamines dramatically increase alertness and competitive drive. The problem is they mask your body's warning signals. Heart rates over 200 beats per minute, core temperatures reaching lethal levels. Modafinil. What it does: extreme wakefulness and focus. Detection window: 2 to 3 days. Track benefits: mental clarity, faster reaction times. Why sprinters use it: improves reaction time off the blocks. Modafinil creates laser focus without anxiety. The first 10 meters of a 100-meter race are purely reaction and acceleration. Modafinil improves both. EPO and blood doping. Distance runner's arsenal. Erythropoietin, EPO, increases red blood cell production. More red blood cells mean more oxygen delivery to muscles. For distance runners, this is everything. EPO. What it does: increases red blood cell count by 10 to 20%. Detection window: days to weeks depending on type. Track benefits: massive endurance increases. Impact: can improve 10,000 times by 30 to 60 seconds. EPO transforms mediocre distance runners into world-class competitors. A 28-minute 10K runner becomes a 27-minute runner, the difference between obscurity and Olympic finals. Blood transfusions. What it is: removing blood weeks before competition, then reinfusing it. Detection window: virtually undetectable. Track benefits: same as EPO without the drug. Blood doping is old school but effective. You remove blood, your body produces more to compensate, then you reinfuse stored blood before competition. Your red blood cell count spikes temporarily. AICAR and GW1516. What they do: activate genes that improve endurance. Detection window: extremely difficult to detect. Track benefits: improved endurance at genetic level. Why they're terrifying: effects last weeks after stopping. These are gene-doping compounds. They don't just increase red blood cells, they reprogram muscle cells to function more efficiently. Studies on mice showed 70% endurance improvements. Human growth hormone, the undetectable. HGH is the holy grail of doping because it's nearly impossible to detect. HGH. What it does: accelerates recovery, builds lean muscle, burns fat. Detection window: 24 to 48 hours. Track benefits: train harder with less recovery time. Why it's everywhere: out of your system in 2 days. HGH doesn't make you faster directly. It lets you train at intensity levels that would normally destroy your body. You can do 2 brutal workouts daily and recover overnight. The detection problem: HGH is bioidentical to what your body produces. Tests measure slight variations, but natural spikes from sleep look identical to injections. You'd need to test within 24 hours of injection. nearly impossible with advance notice. SARMs, the new wave. SARMs are newer drugs designed to build muscle like steroids with fewer side effects. Ostarine, Ligandrol, RAD140. What they do: selective muscle growth and bone strengthening. Detection window: weeks to months. Track benefits: muscle gain without water retention. The problem: WADA developed tests quickly. SARMs were marketed as legal steroids sold online as supplements. Athletes thought they were safe alternatives. Then WADA developed detection methods and busted dozens of athletes. Banned beta-2 agonists. These are asthma medications that also have anabolic effects. Clenbuterol. What it does: fat loss and slight anabolic effects. Detection window: 2 to 4 days. Track benefits: weight management without losing muscle. Famous excuse: contaminated meat. Clenbuterol is technically an asthma drug, but athletes use it for body composition. The contaminated meat excuse actually works sometimes. Clenbuterol is illegally used in livestock in some countries. Salbutamol. What it does: opens airways, slight performance enhancement. Allowed with therapeutic use exemption. The controversy: many athletes conveniently develop asthma. Suspiciously, elite athletes develop asthma at much higher rates than general population. It does provide slight cardiovascular advantage, even in non-asthmatics. Diuretics and masking agents. These don't enhance performance. They hide other drugs. Furosemide, hydrochlorothiazide. What they do: increase urine production to dilute drug metabolites. Why they're banned: used to mask other substances. The catch: using a masking agent proves you were hiding something. Diuretics flush your system rapidly. If you know you have drug metabolites in urine, you take a diuretic to dilute your sample below detection thresholds. Gene doping, the future. Gene doping isn't widespread yet, but it's coming. EPO gene therapy. What it is: genetic modification to permanently increase EPO production. Detection: currently impossible. Track benefits: lifetime enhanced red blood cell production. Scientists can insert genes into your cells that produce EPO continuously. You'd never need injections again. Your body just makes elevated EPO forever. Myostatin inhibitors. What they do: block the protein that limits muscle growth. Detection: impossible currently. Track benefits: unlimited muscle growth potential. Myostatin tells your body to stop building muscle. Block it, and muscle growth becomes nearly unlimited. Children born without functioning myostatin genes look like bodybuilders by age 5. Detection methods: urine tests. Catch: most steroids, stimulants, diuretics. Miss: short-acting drugs taken days before. Workaround: careful timing and microdosing. Blood tests. Catch: EPO, HGH, within 48 hours. Blood values. Miss: blood doping, microdosed EPO. Workaround: biological passport manipulation. Biological passport. What it is: longitudinal tracking of blood markers. Catches: sudden changes indicating doping. Workaround: microdosing to stay within normal fluctuation. The biological passport is WADA's best tool. Your blood values are tracked over years. Sudden spikes trigger investigation, but gradual changes within normal ranges are nearly impossible to prove. The testing loopholes. Out-of-competition testing. Athletes must provide whereabouts 365 days per year. Reality: most countries test minimally. Advantage: less developed countries with poor testing infrastructure. Elite athletes supposedly provide daily location information. In practice, enforcement varies wildly. American and European athletes face constant testing. Athletes from countries with less developed anti-doping infrastructure get tested far less. Therapeutic use exemptions, TUE. Legitimate medical conditions allow banned substances. The abuse: convenient diagnoses before major competitions. Examples: ADHD medications, asthma inhalers, testosterone for low T. TUEs are necessary for athletes with real medical conditions, but the system is abused. Athletes suddenly develop conditions requiring banned substances. The uncomfortable truth: every era of track and field history is tainted by doping. The 1980s East German sports machine. The 1990s Chinese distance runners. The 2000s Balco scandal. The 2010s Russian state-sponsored doping. Current records in sprinting and field events were set by athletes who either tested positive later or competed in eras with primitive testing. Usain Bolt's records are considered clean, but he competed against fields where multiple medalists were later banned. The reality: clean athletes are competing against sophisticated doping programs. Testing catches the stupid and unlucky. The intelligent cheaters with medical teams stay ahead of detection. For young athletes considering doping, understand you're not just risking a ban. You're risking cardiovascular damage, hormonal dysfunction, and psychological changes. For fans, enjoy the sport, but understand what you're watching. The fastest humans alive are probably chemically enhanced. That doesn't make their achievements less impressive. It makes them tragic.